A book summary of Hidden Potential, The Science of Achieving Greater Things, 2023, by Adam Grant, Ph.D. Prologue, Growing Roses from Concrete. The prologue begins with the story of the Raging Rooks, a group of disadvantaged students of color from a public middle school in Harlem who defeated elite private schools to win the 1991 National Junior High Chess Championship. Their coach, Maurice Ashley, showed them that with the right opportunities and motivation to learn, anyone can develop the skills needed to achieve great things. The author, Adam Grant, challenges the notion that excellence comes primarily from natural talent, arguing instead that most gifts are homegrown or homemade. A landmark study of world-class performers in various fields found that very few had been child prodigies. Their abilities were mainly acquired through practice and coaching that made learning fun and engaging. With the right conditions for learning, nearly anyone can gain expertise in a field. Recent research confirms it takes a consistent number of practice sessions, around 7 to 8 for most people to master new concepts. Apparent differences in aptitude often reflect differences in prior knowledge and opportunities to learn. High achievement depends less on innate talent and more on character skills like proactivity, collaboration, discipline, and determination. Economist Raj Chetty analyzed data from a Tennessee experiment and found teachers' subjective ratings of students' behaviors in 4th grade predicted their income at age 25 better than test scores. More experienced kindergarten teachers fostered lasting character skills. Coach Maurice Ashley focused on developing the Raging Rook's character to equip them to direct their own learning. With scaffolding to provide initial motivation and opportunities to learn, students gained the will and way to reach new heights. Succeeding at the highest levels requires lifelong cultivation of character strengths. Intelligence becomes less relevant than motivation and deliberate practice in chess mastery. Character propels continual improvement. The book aims to reveal the potential in everyone to go far beyond early limitations. It focuses on the distance traveled from one's starting point, not fixed notions of talent or performance benchmarks. The first section explores specific mindsets and skills enabling great leaps. The second covers structures sustaining motivation and preventing stagnation. The third focuses on systems expanding opportunity. The author has personally experienced the power of dedicated coaches and practice to achieve seemingly impossible goals. His research synthesizes scientific data with stories of people accomplishing remarkable things after unpromising starts. The aim is to demystify extraordinary growth and improvement. When we recognize hidden potential, we expand possibilities for ourselves and others. The Raging Rook's victory opened doors for minorities in chess. Their character skills also enabled personal success despite difficult upbringings. Maurice Ashley became the first African-American chess grandmaster. His student Charu Robinson coached the next generation. Unlocking human potential creates endless possibilities for the world. Skills of character getting better at getting better. The chapter challenges the notion that character is fixed in adulthood. William James claimed in the late year 1800 that by age 30, a person's character was permanently set like plaster. However, a recent study of 1,500 entrepreneurs in West Africa found that even in adulthood, teaching character skills led to dramatic improvements in business performance. The entrepreneurs were divided into 3 groups: a control group, a group that received cognitive skills training in areas like finance and marketing, and a group that received character skills training focused on personal initiative, proactivity, discipline, and determination. After just 1 week of character skills training, the entrepreneurs' profits grew by 30% over the next 2 years, nearly triple the gains of those who received cognitive skills training. This shows that character continues to develop throughout adulthood, and that character skills can drive achievement. The chapter distinguishes personality from character. Personality refers to our basic tendencies and instincts. Character refers to our ability to act according to our values, especially under pressure. While personality may be fixed, character is malleable throughout life. Character enables us to transcend our tendencies and remain true to our principles. Historically, character skills like determination and proactivity have been dismissed as soft skills. But as more cognitive skills are automated, character skills are increasingly vital for human success. Character elevates us above machines. The chapter argues we should invest as much in developing character as career skills. Certain forms of proactivity, determination, and discipline are particularly important for unlocking human potential. Developing character requires seeking positive discomfort. absorbing the right information, and accepting the right imperfections. Character drives our capacity to travel great distances in life. The key ideas to remember are: 1. Character continues developing throughout adulthood. 2. Personality is fixed, but character is malleable. 3. Character helps transcend tendencies to act on values. 4. Character skills are vital as cognitive work is automated. 5. Certain character skills unlock potential by enabling positive discomfort, information absorption, and imperfection acceptance. 1. Creatures of discomfort, embracing the unbearable awkwardness of learning. The chapter argues that embracing discomfort is essential for learning and growth. The important ideas are: 1. Many people believe they have a fixed learning style and try to only learn in ways that make them comfortable. But research shows no evidence that learning styles are real. Stepping outside your comfort zone often leads to better learning. 2. When learning a new language, many avoid speaking until they feel they have mastered vocabulary and grammar. But experiments show that practicing speaking from day one leads to better proficiency over time. 3. People learn best when they seek out challenges beyond their comfort zone, not just accept discomfort when it happens. Studies find that framing goals in terms of pursuing discomfort motivates persistence and creativity. 4. To accelerate learning, it is crucial to make large numbers of mistakes. This builds communication skills and learned industriousness, where effort itself becomes rewarding. Polyglots intentionally make hundreds of mistakes daily when learning languages. Having the courage to embrace, seek out, and amplify discomfort is key. This means abandoning familiar learning styles, using new skills before you've mastered them, and making more mistakes than attempts. Discomfort indicates progress. 6. Learning requires courage to step outside your comfort zone. With practice, discomfort fades and you gain fluency. We should not wait until we feel ready to start practicing new skills. 2. Human sponges building the capacity to absorb and adapt. The chapter emphasizes developing absorptive capacity, the ability to recognize, assimilate, and apply new information. This sponge-like quality allows continuous learning and adaptation. The story of Melody Hobson illustrates how being a sponge helps overcome disadvantage. Growing up poor, she struggled in school but later became a successful leader. Her thirst for knowledge and openness to feedback were key. Even tough criticism from mentor Bill Bradley was constructive because she filtered it properly, realizing he cared about her growth. Absorptive capacity depends on 2 habits: seeking new knowledge proactively and filtering to fuel growth rather than ego. Being reactive and ego-driven blocks learning. The ideal is being proactive and growth-oriented, a sponge actively absorbing nutrients. Kenyan javelin thrower Julius Yego exemplifies this. Lacking facilities and coaching, he watched YouTube to teach himself and won Olympic silver. His self-directed learning accelerated his progress beyond rivals like Egyptian thrower Ihab Abdulrahman, who relied on conventional coaching. To absorb effectively, it's crucial to filter useful feedback from useless criticism. At first, the author asked ineffective questions, eliciting vague praise or attacks. When he asked for specific advice instead, he got constructive suggestions to improve public speaking. The key is seeking input from trustworthy sources. People who care about you are qualified to judge the skill and know your abilities. Melody Hobson filtered correctly when mentor Bill Bradley critiqued her tendency to dominate conversations. She realized he cared about her growth. Being a sponge is not just personal advancement. It's a prosocial skill. Sea sponges absorb nutrients but also release beneficial biochemicals that support life. Similarly, we should absorb knowledge that helps create value for others. The capacity for continuous learning and sharing enables human progress. 3. The Imperfectionists finding the sweet spot between flawed and flawless. The chapter explores the concept of imperfectionism, finding beauty and excellence in flaws and compromises rather than rigidly pursuing perfection. It begins by profiling Japanese architect Tadao Ando, who taught himself architecture and pioneered a minimalist, concrete-heavy style. When an earthquake struck Kobe, none of Ando's buildings collapsed, revealing their hidden durability and his ability to balance aesthetics with functionality. The author contrasts Ando's imperfectionism with the damaging mindset of perfectionism. Perfectionists become obsessed with inconsequential details, avoid failure by sticking to their strengths, and don't learn from mistakes. Research shows perfectionism often hinders real-world performance and mastery. Imperfectionism involves disciplined prioritization, choosing what to optimize versus what to accept as good enough. Ando prioritized durability and design over luxury. Finding beauty in flaws is called wabi-sabi in Japanese culture. The author shares his experience overcoming perfectionism as a diver. His coach reframed a perfect 10 as excellence, not flawlessness. Concrete goals and kindness toward mistakes fueled growth, not self-criticism. In creative fields, subjectivity makes choosing which imperfections to fix difficult. Choreographer Twyla Tharp rushed to improve her musical after disastrous reviews before its Broadway debut. She filtered feedback to identify key issues and made the minimum viable changes for a lovable show. Tharp now convenes a small judging panel to give scores and advice on works in progress. The author does the same, treating judges as springboards for growth rather than arbiters of social approval. Our harshest critic should be ourselves. Are we proud of the work? Like a green apple which symbolizes youth to Ando, imperfectionism sustains a spirit of endless refinement. The desire to stay unfinished fuels lifelong improvement. Progress means accepting necessary compromises in pursuit of excellence, not perfection. Structures for motivation scaffolding to overcome obstacles. The chapter explains how we can overcome obstacles and challenges in life through the use of scaffolding, temporary support structures that help us scale heights we couldn't reach alone. The first key idea is that scaffolding comes from other people, mentors, teachers, coaches, etc. When facing difficulties, we should look outward for guidance rather than only inward. The type of scaffolding needed depends on the specific challenge. For example, studies found playing Tetris for 10 minutes after watching disturbing videos helped reduce intrusive flashbacks by interfering with memory consolidation. This illustrates how scaffolding is tailored to particular obstacles. The second key idea is that scaffolding is most effective at pivotal moments. Tetris only helps if played soon after viewing upsetting images, before the memories fully consolidate. Timing is crucial. Third, scaffolding is temporary. Once past an obstacle, the support is no longer needed. For example, a short Tetris intervention curtails flashbacks without ongoing reliance. The chapter emphasizes how the right scaffolding at the right time helps us overcome obstacles to growth. Examples are provided of how mountain climbers, musicians, athletes, and others have used tailored, timely, and temporary support to achieve extraordinary goals despite challenges. The key takeaway in this chapter is that scaffolding allows us to find motivation when discouraged, gain momentum when stagnating, and turn difficulties into sources of strength. By looking outward for the right guidance and support structures, we can unleash our hidden potential. 4. Transforming the daily grind. Infusing passion into practice. The key takeaways in this chapter are: 1. Evelyn Glennie overcame profound deafness to become the world's first full-time percussion soloist, demonstrating that passion and deliberate play can unlock potential even in extremely challenging circumstances. 2. Deliberate practice, structured repetition for clear goals, is important but insufficient. Harmonious passion sustains motivation and prevents burnout. Elite musicians rely more on harmonious passion than obsessive practice. Harmonious passion comes from enjoying the process, not pressuring yourself. Deliberate play blends fun with skill development by breaking tasks into parts and introducing novelty. 4. Taking regular breaks prevents burnout, unlocks creativity, and improves learning through spaced repetition. Rest and play are fuel, not distractions. 5. Brandon Payne helped revolutionize basketball practice through deliberate play drills that are structured as games, raising the bar on yourself rather than others. This approach unlocked Steph Curry's potential. 6. Evelyn Glennie learned the hard way that over-practice backfires, draining passion over time. She now practices in short intervals with frequent breaks. The goal is enjoyment leading to progress, not mindless repetition. 5. Getting unstuck, the roundabout path to forward progress. The chapter begins by highlighting that progress rarely happens in a straight line. When trying to improve a skill, there are often periods of rapid growth followed by plateaus where gains slow down or stall entirely. Reaching these dead ends is a signal that it may be time to step back and chart a new route forward. As an example, the author details the story of R.A. Dickey, a professional baseball pitcher. Early in his career, Dickey was labeled a phenom and rose quickly through the minor league system. However, a physical examination revealed he was missing a ligament in his throwing arm, putting a cap on his potential fastball speed. After years of struggling in the minor leagues, he reinvented himself in his 30s by mastering an unpredictable pitch called the knuckleball. This allowed him to go from one of the worst to one of the best pitchers in the major leagues. Dickey's experience highlights how temporary setbacks are often necessary to find better paths and reach new heights. When we feel stuck at a plateau, backing up and trying a new direction facilitates forward progress again. It may require dismantling old habits or assumptions to rebuild skills from the ground up. While uncomfortable, these backward steps position us to gain momentum in a more promising direction. According to cognitive scientists, skills don't improve in a perfectly smooth upward curve. When our performance stalls after a period of growth, often the next phase is a temporary decline before another ascent occurs. This dip reflects our experiments with new techniques that may not pay off right away. With enough tries, we can find an approach that catapults us to higher levels. When stuck, having a compass can point us in a better direction, even if the exact path remains unclear. For Dickey, coaches recognized his gripping and throwing motion was suited to mastering the knuckleball. Their guidance gave him a starting point to develop the unfamiliar pitch through extensive trial and error. However, the chapter cautions that learning from individual experts can be counterproductive for novices. Those at the cutting edge have often forgotten the fundamentals that beginners must grasp. Their deep knowledge also tends to be partly tacit and instinctual, rather than easy to articulate step by step. A better strategy is to seek advice from multiple guides who made similar journeys. Each can offer pins or landmarks that illuminated their path, though not all will apply directly. By collecting these suggestions, we can piece together elements that form a route tailored to our own strengths and weaknesses. Over time, we write our own guidebook this way. An example is Dickey consulting various retired knuckleball pitchers to get pointers on adjusting his form and training methods. He took insights that worked for him and discarded others. Gradually, he carved out his own roadmap to mastering the pitch. The chapter emphasizes that making progress through an iterative process often involves getting lost for periods of time. Languishing is the emotional experience of losing momentum and feeling stagnant. Pushing harder in the same direction is rarely the solution. Instead, taking a temporary detour to achieve small wins in another area can provide needed motivation. Focusing briefly on a hobby or side project allows us to build confidence that forward movement is possible. Progress requires maintaining hope that our efforts will eventually pay off. Dickey's passion project was climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa to raise money for a charity. Though unrelated to baseball, it gave him a sense of purpose and accomplishment that carried over. The takeaway is that diversions aren't always distractions. They can be sources of renewal to help us get unstuck. The chapter emphasizes that from an outside view, breakthrough moments appear to happen suddenly and overnight. In reality, they are usually the accumulation of micro wins built up over an extended period of time. Dickey's MVP season came after 7 trips back down to the minor leagues and 7 years honing the knuckleball. For this reason, judging progress based on a snapshot can be misleading. The path involves many backward and lateral moves, making it hard to detect gains in the short term. With the benefit of hindsight, the loops and detours were instrumental in reaching new heights. Resistance training teaches us that moving forward requires backing up at times. The key ideas in the chapter to remember are: 1. Plateau signal, it's time to turn around and reroute. Backtracking facilitates forward momentum. 2. Experts make poor teachers for beginners. Seek directions from multiple guides instead. 3. By testing suggestions, we can gradually create our own guidebook. 4. Languishing is the feeling of losing motivation. Taking detours provides small wins. 5. Over long time horizons, breakthroughs reflect steady micro wins built up through setbacks. 6. Loops are necessary to summit the highest peaks. Resistance drives growth. 6. Defying gravity, the art of flying by our bootstraps. The Golden 13 were the first black men to enter officer training in the U.S. Navy during World War II. Despite facing prejudice and doubts about their abilities, all 16 candidates excelled in the intensive 10-week program, attaining the highest marks in Navy history at the time. Their success demonstrates how groups can overcome obstacles by supporting each other. The candidates recognized the difficulty of the coursework and decided to rely on one another, becoming sponges who absorbed and shared knowledge. They identified their individual strengths and took responsibility for teaching specific topics. This allowed them to pool their expertise. Teaching others also reinforced their own learning through the tutor effect. By quizzing each other, they created more opportunities to share and cement new knowledge. The Golden 13 not only offered academic support, but also provided coaching and accountability. They motivated each other when individuals were ready to quit. This coach effect boosted their confidence in their collective ability to succeed. Holding each other to high standards made them more demanding of themselves. The Golden 13 turned the low expectations of prejudiced instructors into motivation. Though painful, being doubted by unqualified critics sparked determination to prove them wrong through the underdog effect. More importantly, the candidates found purpose in fighting for their community and paving the way for future generations. After becoming the Navy's first black officers, the Golden 13 went on to break more barriers. They earned advanced degrees, advocated for the rights of women and gay sailors, and created programs providing education and literacy training. Though overlooked for many years, their pioneering accomplishments remain influential. The chapter illustrates how groups can surmount obstacles by attaching their bootstraps together. Turning outward to give and receive knowledge, coaching, and accountability allows people to reach greater heights collectively than they could individually. Progress often depends on transcending self-interest to fight for and with others. 3. Systems of opportunity opening doors and windows. The chapter discusses how creating opportunities on a larger scale requires building better systems in schools, teams, and organizations. Economist Raj Chetty's research shows how opportunity shapes innovation. He found people raised in the top 1% of family income were 10 times more likely to become inventors than those from median income families. Even high-scoring poor kids had lower inventor rates than average rich kids. Rich families gave kids more exposure to innovators, allowing them to dream bigger. Geography matters too. Moving to innovation hubs boosted inventor rates 37%. But opportunity doesn't benefit all groups equally. Girls only innovated more in female inventor zip codes, which were rare. If girls had equal exposure as boys, it could double female inventor rates and close over half the gender gap. Good systems provide opportunity by opening doors for disadvantaged groups, offering windows to those turned away, and shattering glass ceilings for those denied a chance. Admissions and hiring can recognize late bloomers' potential. Teams can solicit ideas from all levels. Schools can help disadvantaged students catch up. Seeking genius in everyone, not just expected places, maximizes human potential. And every child gets ahead, designing schools to bring out the best in students. The key ideas not to forget are: 1. Finland dramatically improved its education system in a short time, rising from mediocrity to the top of international rankings. Their success shows that creating a culture of opportunity in schools can help students achieve greater things. 2. The Finnish education culture is rooted in the belief that every child has potential. Instead of singling out the gifted, their system aims to give all students the chance to grow. As a result, achievement gaps between schools and students are the smallest in the world. 3. This culture of opportunity involves enabling personalized learning through individualized relationships, support, and interests. Critical practices include teacher looping, early intervention for struggling students, play-based early education, and student autonomy in exploring passions. 4. To build this culture, Finland professionalized teaching, gave teachers autonomy, and engaged them in defining an ideal culture. The country places a high value on education and teaching as instruments for nation building. 5. Although Finland's performance has declined recently, especially among boys and high schoolers, experiments to boost motivation show promise. Intrinsic motivation is nurtured by giving students more freedom and agency in shaping their learning. Finland remains a model for learning efficiency, achieving high scores while maintaining student well-being. Their goal isn't just excellence, it's helping all students progress without harming their mental health. 7. The key insight is that investing in every child is more important than targeting gifted students. Building cultures of opportunity allows the potential in all students to flourish. 8. Mining for gold, unearthing collective intelligence in teams. The chapter discusses how to maximize collective intelligence in teams. Collective intelligence refers to a group's ability to solve problems together. The author argues that the best teams are not necessarily comprised of the most individually intelligent people. Rather, the most effective teams are able to elicit and integrate the best thinking from all their members. Some key ideas. 1. Prosocial skills like collaboration and recognizing others' strengths are more important for collective intelligence than individual IQ. Teams with more team players perform better. 2. Leaders should be selected based on prosocial skills, not just confidence and assertiveness. The best leaders listen well and make the whole team smarter. 3. Simply grouping people together does not make an effective team. Real teams need a shared mission, role clarity, and regular sharing of knowledge. 4. Brainstorming meetings often fail to maximize ideas due to issues like ego threat and noise. A better method is brainwriting, where people generate ideas individually first. 5. Organizations should use lattice systems, not just hierarchies. This gives people multiple paths for voicing ideas, rather than relying on one manager's approval. 6. The Chilean mine rescue succeeded through crowdsourcing ideas globally, listening carefully to a young engineer's unconventional plan and having a lattice system that amplified his subsequent ideas. 7. Unleashing collective intelligence requires welcoming diverse voices, elevating fresh thinkers, and building systems that let hidden potential rise to the surface. The smartest teams access and integrate intelligence from all their members. The whole can become far greater than the sum of its parts. 9. Diamonds in the rough, discovering uncut gems in job interviews and college admissions. The chapter discusses how we often fail to recognize potential in people, especially those who have faced adversity and overcome obstacles. Booker T. Washington sets the tone, noting success should be measured not just by achievements, but by the obstacles overcome along the way. The story of Jose Hernandez illustrates this well. As a child of migrant farm workers, Jose dreamed of becoming an astronaut after watching the moon landing on TV. He diligently pursued engineering degrees and applied to NASA's astronaut program year after year, only to be rejected time and again. Undeterred, he continued improving his skills and credentials until he was finally selected at age 47. Jose's journey shows that talent sets the floor for achievement, but character determines the ceiling. Our selection systems often overlook such potential by focusing too narrowly on credentials, past experience, and prior performance. These are poor proxies that benefit the privileged and overlook diamonds in the rough who have contended with adversity. We fail to account for degree of difficulty. A good student at an easy school appears stronger than an average student at a challenging school. Favoring polished diamonds, we miss the growth and perseverance of uncut gems. Quantifying individual hardship is an immense challenge. Well-intentioned affirmative action policies for disadvantaged groups can backfire by calling competence into question. A better solution is to adjust expectations based on access to opportunity, not general group membership. Looking at improvement over time helps spot potential. Students who increase grades steadily show greater success in college and career than those with static grades, even if the latter's average GPA is higher. We should consider grade point trajectories, not just averages. Interviews often create stressful interrogations that obscure candidates' abilities, especially for those facing disabilities or stigma. Innovative hiring processes use warm-ups about passions, strengths-based exercises, and second chances to enable underdogs to shine. Work samples that invite candidates to showcase skills in real time reveal capability better than resumes or credentials. Handcrafted challenges tailored to specific roles beat obscure brain teasers. Giving people a chance to redo samples after feedback showcases perseverance and learning ability. Rather than disqualify candidates for early setbacks, we should recognize the greater distances they can travel after overcoming adversity. By broadening our lens beyond conventional metrics, we gain the insight needed to spot potential where it lies dormant. When we fail to do so, organizations and society miss out on many diamonds left in the rough. Epilogue: Going the Distance. The author originally dismissed dreams as overly idealistic, but came to realize their importance through his own experience. As a teenager, he dreamed of attending Harvard, which motivated him to achieve it. At Harvard, he failed a writing test but was determined to improve. With hard work and guidance from mentors, he went from failing to acing the class. This experience taught him the power of having a growth mindset, pursuing big dreams, and not letting setbacks define you. Later, the author dreamed of writing his own book, though he faltered at first by being too academic. With encouragement from his literary agent, he found his voice. He learned to write not like an academic, but like he teaches, with surprise and storytelling. The author realizes imposter syndrome is common among high achievers. But if many credible people believe in you, It's wise to believe them over your own self-doubt. The key takeaways are: 1. Dreams motivate achievement and reflect our potential, so they should be nurtured. 2. Character strengths like determination and humility enable growth more than innate talent alone. Mentors can provide critical guidance. 3. Overcoming setbacks on the way to big goals builds resilience. Failures don't define us if we get back up. 4. Accomplishments have greater meaning when they align with our values. Success is not just reaching goals, but realizing our full humanity. Actions for impact. The chapter provides 40 practical tips for unleashing hidden potential and achieving greater things. The tips are organized into 3 sections. Build character skills. Unleash potential through cultivating skills like pursuing discomfort, absorbing knowledge, and striving for excellence over perfection. Become comfortable with discomfort by practicing new skills before feeling ready, seeking out challenges, setting mistake goals, and using different learning styles. Absorb knowledge effectively by increasing absorptive capacity, asking for coaching instead of just feedback, identifying trustworthy sources, and coaching others. Strive for excellence, not perfection, by accepting some flaws, getting objective ratings, being your own final judge, and reflecting on progress. 2. Set up scaffolding to overcome obstacles. Look for the right support when needed, like turning practice into play, taking roundabout paths, and boosting confidence. Make practice enjoyable through competition, variety, and rest. When stuck, find new routes via guides, side projects, and teaching. Build confidence by coaching others and harnessing expectations. Build systems of opportunity. Create systems to invest in overlooked people through education, teams, and interviews. In education, recognize all students' potential. Empower teachers, loop students, and promote exploration. In teams, build cohesion, choose connective leaders, use independent ideation, and create lattices. In interviews and applications, ignore credentials. Account for difficulty, evaluate trajectories, reimagine processes, and redefine success as progress. Please give this video a thumbs up so that we can spread this information to others who share our same interests or circumstances. Be a helper. There you have it. Take care of yourself and your health. Please subscribe to my channel Culinary Physics if you haven't subscribed yet, and let's grow together as a community. Thanks for watching to the end, and I'll see you in the next video.